Hello everybody. In this video we will be learning about the type of magnetic materials and the cause of their magnetic behavior. So first of all, what are the different types of magnetic materials? The first one is, you can write down, paramagnetic materials. Then we have ferromagnetic materials, and then we have the third type, which is known as diamagnetic materials. Now we want to understand what is the cause of their magnetic behavior, like what is it that they show when they are placed in the magnetic field, and what is the root cause of their property, the property that they show when they are placed in the magnetic field. So initially let us start learning about paramagnetism or paramagnetic behavior of the materials. Now the paramagnetic materials, I will first of all give you the examples of certain materials which are paramagnetic in nature. So aluminium, sodium, calcium, then oxygen at STP, standard temperature and pressure. Similarly, copper chloride. These are all paramagnetic materials. Now, every atom of a paramagnetic material, suppose this is an atom representing an orbit of an electron. So every atom of a paramagnetic material will have a magnetic moment of its own, okay? Because there will be many electrons that will be orbiting in their orbits, and every revolving electron is equivalent to a circulating current, and we've already learned it in one of the video that when there are circulating currents, they give rise to the magnetic moments, which is equal to Ni into A. So the resultant of all the magnetic moments shown by the different electrons present in one atom gives rise to a net magnetic moment. Now let us say that this is a sample of a paramagnetic substance, one sample. Now every atom which is present in this sample will have its own magnetic moment, and let us say this is representing magnetic moment of one atom, this is representing of magnetic moment of the other, and similarly you can draw many different directions of the magnetic moments shown by different atoms. They are randomly oriented initially, right? So they are all randomly oriented. Now one atom has magnetic moment, but the net sample has a zero magnetic moment, zero. So this is how is a paramagnetic substance. It contains atoms, each atom having an individual magnetic moment, but the net magnetic moment of the sample is zero. Now you place this sample in magnetic field, okay? So now let us say there is a magnetic field and you have kept this sample inside it. Now because of the magnetic field, let us say this is the direction of the magnetic field. Now all these magnetic moments will try to orient themselves in the direction of the field, and therefore they will start rotating. So this is here, it will flip like this, this one will also start flipping, this is already in the direction, this one will start flipping like this, and all of them will try to align in the direction of the magnetic field. They will try to align, they may not align, they may show a little alignment, but they will try to align themselves in the direction of magnetic field. and it is because of this reason that paramagnetic materials show a little attraction towards the magnetic field. So for example, if you have a china dish and you have a powdered substance in which is a paramagnetic substance. Now it is kept in the china dish like this, for example. Now here you have, let us say, north pole and south pole of a magnet. You just keep the poles of the magnet here. So the field is very strong in this region between the two poles. Therefore, this heap of the paramagnetic material, it will try to move from, because this is a region of weaker field. The field is stronger in between the region where the two poles are situated. So the paramagnetic material will try to move like this, which means that it will try to move from a region of weaker field to a region of stronger field. So this is how a paramagnetic material shows its behavior in the presence of the magnetic field, and the cause of its magnetism is because each and every atom present in it has its own net magnetic moment, which try to align itself in the direction of magnetic field when it is put in the presence of magnetic field. Then after paramagnetic materials, we will talk about the next type. So the next type of material, number 2, is ferromagnetic material. Now what are ferromagnetic materials? For example, this is a bar, and iron is an example of a ferromagnetic material. Cobalt is also an example. Nickel is also an example of a ferromagnetic material. So let us say that we have taken a bar of a ferromagnetic material. Now this bar will have small domains. Domain is a region. Each domain will be of 1 mm in size. There will be 10 to the power 11 atoms of the material present in the small domain. And every atom will contribute in the magnetic moment such that there will be a net magnetic moment of the complete domain in one particular direction. Then there will be some other portion, again 1 mm in size, let us say approximately. But now this domain will have a magnetic moment in some other particular direction. So similarly, the whole bar can be shown to be divided into different domains. Okay, so these are different domains, and every domain will have a magnetic moment in different direction, like this. So there are domains, but they have magnetic moments in different directions. Now when this ferromagnetic material is kept in the presence of magnetic field, suppose B is the direction of, this is the direction of magnetic field, then the domains will try to align themselves in the direction of field. Since the size of domain is larger, so a larger number of atoms will be oriented in the same direction. So this will lead to more number of domains in the same, or more magnetic moment in the same direction, which leads to saying that it will show huge attraction towards magnetic field. So again, if you have a china dish and you have a powdered substance which is made up of a ferromagnetic material, and you place magnetic poles over here, then this heap will immediately shift from this to this. So the whole of the material will try to shift in this region, where this region is a region of strong magnetic field. So the material will move from a region of weak to stronger, but here most of the material has moved into this field, whereas in the previous case some amount was left here also. Fine. So this is how a ferromagnetic material behaves. But then there are two different kind of ferromagnetic materials. One of them is a type They are known as, for example, if you have soft iron. So the soft iron is a ferromagnetic material which is soft in nature. They are also known as soft ferromagnetic materials. Whereas cobalt and nickel, they are called hard ferromagnetic materials. Now the reason is that initially, suppose you have cobalt or nickel, this is a bar of cobalt or nickel, let us say, and you have kept it inside the magnetic field and some magnetism has developed inside it. Now after the removal of the magnetic field, still this bar will retain some magnetism, right? So the magnetism is not completely destroyed after the removal of the magnetic field. So these type of materials are known as hard ferromagnetic materials. Whereas another type which I have mentioned already here, soft iron. Suppose this is a bar of soft iron and you have applied magnetic field, then after the removal of the magnetic field, it will again come back to the original position. That is, the magnetic moments will reorient themselves in the direction in which they were earlier. So no net magnetic field inside. So these type of materials are known as soft ferromagnetic materials. Now, since you have done the para and ferro type materials, there is one very important thing about these two which I am writing over here, that paramagnetic materials, in paramagnetic materials, the magnetic moment that is developed in the sample, it is inversely related to its temperature. Okay, means that if the temperature is increased, then the magnetic moments will decrease, because there are atoms of the material present in the sample, so they will start vibrating or disorientation will happen, and therefore the magnetic moments which were trying to align themselves in the direction of the magnetic field, most of them will not be able to do so because of the higher temperature. So magnetic moments also depend upon temperature in the case of paramagnetic materials, and this relationship further is written as M, removing this proportionality by a constant, we write C B naught by T, where this relationship was given by Mr. Curie. So C is known as Curie's constant. Curie's constant. The B naught is the magnetic field which was there inside it already, and T is the temperature at which the sample is there. So paramagnetic materials, in paramagnetic materials, the magnetism M, it depends upon the temperature also. The magnetization of the sample depends upon temperature also. In the previous video you have learned that M was dependent on H. It was equal to chi into H. So it was depending upon chi, the susceptibility of the medium. Here you have learned that it depends on the factor temperature also. So this is one thing that I wanted to tell you. Then after paramagnetic materials, there is another thing that we just now talked about. It was ferromagnetic materials. Ferromagnetic materials. Now in ferromagnetic materials, you always remember one thing, that there is a temperature which is known as Curie's temperature, at which a ferromagnetic material starts transition from ferromagnetism to paramagnetism. So there is a transition, and you can very well understand the reason, that initially at a very low temperature all the magnetic moments are aligned in one direction. Then if you increase the temperature, then there will be some disruption in the atomic arrangement of the atoms in the sample, and because the atoms will start disorienting themselves, so the domains will also start disrupting, and because there will be a disruption in the domains, slowly it will lead to paramagnetism. So ferromagnetic materials at a higher temperature, which is known as a Curie's temperature, they start a transition from their behavior to, and they reach the paramagnetism behavior. So you have to remember the name that this happens at Curie's temperature. So the third type of magnetic materials are diamagnetic materials, and the special thing about these materials is that instead of showing attraction, they show a repulsion for the magnetic field. That is, if you have a diamagnetic substance in a china dish in a powdered form and you apply some magnetic field, so it will start moving from a region of, so this is a region of strong magnetic field and this is a region of weak magnetic field. So it will move from strong to weak. So it will move like this. So more of the amount of substance you will find in these regions, which has been shown by red, and this will move from here to here. So diamagnetic materials are showing repulsion. Now we want to understand why does it happen so. So in order to understand the basic structure of the diamagnetic material, consider one atom of the diamagnetic material, and you can have an example, that is copper, and similarly bismuth. So these are diamagnetic materials. So you take copper. Now let us say that this is representing an atom of copper, and it will have many electrons inside it. All of them are moving in their orbit, and each and every electron will have its own magnetic moment. But the net magnetic moment of the atom, net, so M net will be 0. That is, some of the electrons will have magnetic moment in one particular direction, some of the other will have magnetic moment exactly in the opposite direction, and the result will be that the net magnetic moment of a single atom is 0. Further, this is suppose a sample of a diamagnetic material, and it has all the atoms of copper or bismuth, let us say. Then when you keep it in the presence of magnetic field, then every atom which had net magnetic moment 0 will develop a magnetic moment in the direction opposite to the magnetic field. So individual atom will develop magnetic moment opposite to the direction of magnetic field. Fine. And what is the reason for this? Is because when you keep it in the magnetic field, then some of the electrons will start moving with a greater velocity, leading to a greater angular momentum, and a few others will start moving with a lesser velocity, leading to a lesser angular momentum, such that you have already done this in your previous lecture, that magnetic moment, orbital magnetic moment is equal to minus E by 2m into L. So now, because the value of L is different, because some of the electrons have started moving more fast as compared to the other ones, so the magnetic moment will be there, and since if we have a negative sign over here, this magnetic moment will be in a direction opposite to the magnetic field. So they will develop magnetic moments in the opposite direction, and because it is in the opposite direction, it shows repulsion. So this is what is all about these three materials, and now we will make a table to understand their susceptibility and their relative permeability. Okay, so we are making a table right now. So you will write down paramagnetic substances, and then you can write down ferromagnetic substances, then you can write down diamagnetic substances. Now for paramagnetic substances, the susceptibility, magnetic susceptibility ranges from 0 to a small positive number. Small positive number. Let us say this number is epsilon. So chi ranges from 0 to epsilon. Small positive number. For ferromagnetic materials, the value of chi is much greater than 1. Right? So it is a huge value. For diamagnetic materials, the value of chi ranges from 0 to minus 1. So this is the value of magnetic susceptibility. We have also learned a relationship that 1 plus chi is relative permeability. And because of this relationship, we can write down relative permeability here. So substituting chi as 0, it will be chi as 0, mu r will be 1. 2, chi as epsilon, so it will be 1 to 1 plus epsilon. Okay, so relative permeability ranges from 1 to 1 point something, a small positive number. And because chi is much greater than 1 here, so mu r will be much greater than 1 here. For the third case, when you place chi as 0, mu r will be 1. As minus 1, it will be 0. So it ranges from 1 to 0. So this is how you represent these two materials in a tabular form. And if you have to draw a diagram, so this is a paramagnetic substance, this is a ferromagnetic substance, and this is a diamagnetic substance. You have kept them in the presence of a magnetic field, and let us say that the magnetic field was uniform, like this. Initially the magnetic field is like this. Okay, magnetic field. Now, how can you show that this is a paramagnetic substance? Some number of lines. So one line you can show is going like this, with a small kink towards the field, towards the bar, like this. So showing that some kink is there, like it wants to go inside the material, like this. You can also show it like this. For the ferromagnetic materials, you can show a more deeper curve. So it can be like this. It is a deeper curve, like this. For the diamagnetic substances, you have to show like this. So it is expelled from the material. Here more number of lines are concentrated. Here fewer lines are concentrated in the magnetic material. Thank you for watching this, and in the next video we will be learning about hysteresis, that is lagging behind of B by H, and we will try and understand which materials do we really need for making the core of the transformers or for the electromagnets, which will be based on our previous knowledge that we have learned just now. Thank you.